Ice and Fire podcast. I am Sir Matt, the Bud Knight.
And I am Sir Ezra the Watchful. Welcome to our Song of Ice and Fire book club. Today we are making some bold predictions.
Yeah, season 8 is here, and we're ready to talk about it, man. This is the final kind of... We don't really have a format for this. We're just trying to get all of it out we can. What do we think's going to happen? What do we know? We're trying to... There's been a couple small little spoilers. I haven't looked at them. I think Sir Ezra has.
Whoa.
I'm just joking, man.
Whoa. Actually, hey, people will be like, once they hear my predictions, they're going to be like, there's no way Sir Ezra looked at the spoilers. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, man. I mean, the only thing right before I got on here, I did see that was leaked. The little intro sequence where they have like the little I saw a little something there. I don't know if it gave away anything, but it's just a little something. So I turned away as quick as I could. So, but yeah, man, this is just gonna be some bold predictions. I think we're gonna try to start off with some minor characters, and just really we're gonna focus in on the characters. Maybe not like sequence of events, really. Just sort of what happens to some of our favorite characters. I mean,
yeah,
like.
So some stuff I was looking at, right, Sir Ezra?
Yeah.
You and I was looking at the episodes that we know of for season 8, right? So we know there's 6 episodes for season 8, and so I went as far as to look and say, okay, so episode 1 is, I was like, who's writing these episodes, right? So episode 1 is written by Dave Hill. Episode 2 is written by Brian Cogman, and then episodes 3 through 6 are written by Dan and Dave, who write like 90% of the episodes. But the episodes that Dave Hill writes and the episodes that Brian Cogman write all have some kind of similar themes to them.
Yeah.
So I looked at some of the episodes that Dave Hill has written. He wrote the episode Sons of the Harpy in season 5, the episode Home in season 6, and the episode Eastwatch in season 7. So in each one of these episodes, they're kind of like staging episodes, and then usually like one big event happens. This is Dave Hill, who's writing the first episode. One kind of big event happens, and then there's usually one kind of like somewhat significant death. It's not usually a lot of people, but it's usually like one or two people.
Okay.
So in the episode Sons of the Harpy, which is season 5, not a lot. I mean, there's stuff going on with obviously the story's moving along with a lot of the other areas, but when you get to Marine, that's where Barristan Selmy dies. Right? That's where the episode ends, with Barristan Selmy dying. The episode Home, season 6, that's the episode where Jon Snow comes back to life. And also Balon Greyjoy dies, right? I mean, we kind of forget because they totally did that way out of order, right?
Sure.
Like it's like you forget that Balon Greyjoy exists. It should have happened way earlier. It doesn't. Just the way the show did it, because I don't know if they were saving some of this stuff because they were hoping Gur would get the final book, the second to last book out. So whatever caused them to kind of go that direction with Balon Greyjoy. But anyway, Balon Greyjoy does die. It's a bigger deal, in the books than when it takes place, but it's still a significant event, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So then the other episode he wrote, Eastwatch, right? That's the one where they go north to get the white, and then we see what's his name? Oh God, how am I blanking on his name right now?
The who?
The Thoros Amir.
Okay, yeah. The Red Priest, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So okay, so that is Dave Hill. So that leads me to believe that episode 1, there's gonna you and I have both kind of talked. Episode 1, we're thinking it's like staging. All right, people are arriving, whatever. And I think, man, then when you look at other events that happened in the first episode of a season, season 1, episode 1, Bran gets pushed out the window, right? It's kind of like I think a significant character is going to die, episode 1.
Wow.
I don't think out the gate, but I think at the end of the episode, like, oh man, like you're not safe even in episode 1, because we as fans we know the big battle's probably 3 and 4, episode 3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where like half the cast is gone. But yeah, I think even in episode 1, man, somebody significant gone.
So like, I mean, any thoughts on who that might be? I mean, like,
oh man,
like who's the one character that you can take out early? I guess is what you're kind of saying, right?
I think Tormund Giantsbane.
Wow.
Episode 1. I think, the last time we saw them, they were over by the wall, right, where the Night King was taking down that section of the wall.
Yeah.
Because we've seen Beric Dondarrion, at least in the Battle of Winterfell, in the trailer. So
sure.
We know Beric Dondarrion obviously makes it to at least there.
Sure.
I don't remember seeing Tormund in any of the trailers.
I thought he was running along. I think we were talking about the wall. I mean, I think he's there up at the wall, right? So, yeah, I think but I don't, like you say, I don't know if he makes it. I don't know if he gets to Winterfell. I definitely don't remember seeing him at the Battle of Winterfell, like any of that stuff. So that is, I mean, maybe that's somebody who could, who could be out.
It'd be kind of disappointing because I really want him to have a moment with Brienne, right? But I don't know if it's going to happen.
Wow, that would just be maybe they couldn't show much of him. Wow, they're limited on what they can show, but yeah, because it would have to be someone has to die before that battle. I don't know who's going to die episode 1. That is really crazy to think about. I let's see. During our list of characters, you got Tyrion, Jaime, Cersei, Dany, Jon. No, none of those folks. Davos, no. Sansa and Arya, no. Theon still hanging around. Missandei, no. Brienne of Tarth is still fighting. Samwell Tarly, I mean, no. He's sticking around to the end. It's got to be maybe like, okay, so Tormund is listed as a supporting cast character. So
yeah, I mean, so is like Grey Worm and
Podrick Payne, Beric Dondarrion.
Right, Beric Dondarrion. I mean, like
I'm just saying that could be a guy that you could pick off. Yeah. He's still a very significant character. Yeah. Wow. By the way, I just looked up the main cast and I was looking at the supporting cast, and this is just off of Wikipedia. I was trying to find it on
right.
But they do have a interesting supporting cast listed here. You've got Euron Greyjoy, Beric Dondarrion, Ed Tullett, right? The Mountain, Grey Worm, Podrick Payne, Qyburn, Edmure Tully, Lyanna Mormont is on there. Robin Arryn is on there.
I imagine we have to see him too. Yeah.
Jon Royce, Yara Greyjoy, and the Night King. So, and then Harry Strickland, is listed there.
Who's the Golden Company, yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of, wow, like, interesting, because we were talking about Edmure just a little bit today, earlier in the reread, and I was like, oh boy, what would it mean if he's in this, if he's in this season?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, So I think Tormund.
Tormund's out. That's episode 1. That's your bold prediction.
Do you think one character? Well, that's my kind of episode 1 prediction. I haven't talked about episode 2 and that writer yet, but
yeah.
What do you think?
If I had to pick a character to go in episode 1, who would it be? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we see Bronn in that trailer anywhere in?
No.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking Bronn could be somebody who might go. Maybe we see Euron if the Harry Strickland situation, him coming back, maybe something between Theon and Euron could happen beforehand, just because that'd be setting the scene, get some of that stuff settled up, shored up while our other characters are meeting, because there's a lot of great meetings that are going to happen up at Winterfell, between Tyrion and Jaime and so on. So Dany and Sansa and everything. So I guess I would say we don't see Euron later on, do we? I don't think we. You know, I'm just talking about the trailer. You know, from what we see there, I would maybe say Euron. I don't.
Yeah,
You know,
we're on episode 1. Yeah, maybe. I feel like he has to
Yara?
come back. Maybe he does. Maybe he goes. Here's how I could see Euron dying.
Okay.
Although I feel like Euron has to have some, like, if Euron doesn't have some sort of interaction with Theon, if there's not some Euron, Theon, Yara kind of moment, then, like, I don't know what you have Theon do.
Yeah.
Except his last thing was like, you're a Stark, so maybe yeah. But I could see my scenario that causes Euron Greyjoy to die would be Euron brings back the Golden Company, right? And then Cersei just has him killed, like right then.
Okay, Cersei kills him. Yeah.
Like the Mountain kills him, but Cersei has him killed.
Yeah, he's a little too ambitious or whatever. Yeah. What about
maybe even this Harry Strickland, right? It kills him.
Yeah.
Like nope, we're in charge now.
Sure. What does happen? Refresh my memory with Theon just at the end of last season. I got a lot.
He had sailed to Dragonstone, and then he kind of has some conversations with Jon, and then he's gonna go take. He sets
back. Off, didn't he?
He sets off. Remember, he fights that guy. Like
right.
And then he has that conversation with Jon, where Jon's like, "Look, I can't forgive you for what you've done.
Yep.
But you're a Stark."
Yeah. Gotcha. I mean, so because he's out in the boat, right? He's taking a couple of the Ironborn with him.
Yeah, we're gonna go get back Yara. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's your episode 1 possible. I mean, if you had to tick off 2 people, I mean, yeah, you've got Tormund and then maybe one of the Greyjoys. You know.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I like that because I hadn't really thought much about the Greyjoys, you know, and what happens there back at King's Landing, because we got to get some stuff with Cersei and Qyburn and you know everything going on there. So, yeah. Okay, all right. Let's. So you have an episode. Episode 2.
Yeah. So episode 2 is written by Brian Corgman. He usually writes episode. Like he hasn't written a lot of. He writes a lot of mid-season episodes. So it's like, okay, so after a big event has happened, all right, now let's kind of let's get the next push going right towards like the towards like the end of the season. So let's say season 5 here, he wrote episode 5, Kill the Boy, which is like Brienne and Pod arrive at an inn near Winterfell and send a message to Sansa saying that they will help her if she needs it. Remember, Sansa's kind of like with, the Boltons. At the Wall, Tormund accepts an alliance with the Night's Watch that'll allow the wildlings to settle south of the Wall. Jon Snow decrees to accompany him to Hardhome. Stannis' army leaves for Winterfell. Daenerys finds, a marine nobleman, feeds a Maurician nobleman to dragons. She later agrees to reopen the fighting pits.
Yeah.
Then he wrote the following episode, which was like Jack and Nagar takes Arya to a chamber to the Faces. I mean, a lot of like nothing huge. Sansa is married to Ramsay. Then you have that kind of awful moment.
Scene.
Yeah, but it's not like oh, like big characters are being killed. It's usually like, okay, let's get like the next push going.
Sure.
So and also with only 6 episodes, it's probably like, hey, we want to give you, an episode since you've written this whole thing. So. Because he's writing the 2nd episode of this season, but the episodes are so long that hey, okay, so that tells me he seems like the perfect guy. Okay, that tells me, episode 2 is ending. Something significant is happening at the end of episode 2. I'm saying like, we had talked about like the Battle of Winterfell being episodes 3 and 4.
Sure,
but I think it's like maybe the Night King. We had talked about like maybe he takes some other keep before he takes Winterfell. He doesn't just go straight to Winterfell.
Sure. Yeah.
Like as a possibility. I had mentioned, I think it would be super cool to see him invade the Vale because the Vale is like, oh, you can't take the Vale.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be super cool. Like, well, try me. Like,
right. Yeah, exactly.
But, we looked at where that would be. He has to go all the way around,
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was as we start to think about the Battle of Winterfell, I was wondering, like, if you have 2 dragons versus 1, I imagine there's going to be a battle above Winterfell, I was thinking, is it unfair that we have 2 dragon riders versus 1, or what would cause one of them to maybe split? You know, what if as you say, if he did attack somewhere else, you know, maybe the dragon riders do split. Maybe there is one who heads off, you know, to defend somewhere else, and really it's just a ruse. It's some sort of, you know.
Well, yeah, I would say that it is unfair, the 2 against 1, for the Night King. I mean, you have the Night King on 1, who's, you know, like, you know, but because one of the other dragons is Drogon, right? Who's the bigger, stronger of the dragons, the biggest, strongest of those 3. Yeah, they definitely have the advantage.
Yeah, so I was just thinking that there might be a way in which they would get split, because I was trying to think back to the battle at Winterfell and the night scene, and like which dragon did we see, you know, or did we see 2? Did we see both of them? I can't recall right now, but there might be a way in which they get split or divided, and that could happen in episode 2, where we're like, nah, why are you doing this? You know, it's not good, you know, type of thing. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, set the stage with episode 2. With old Brian Cogman there, as the writer. Yeah, I like it. Okay.
So okay, hear me out on this.
Yeah.
Okay. So this to me confirms the Battle of Winterfell, as we've all been saying that anyway, is taking place in episode 3.
Okay.
I'm looking specifically at like who wrote it and who directed it. So Miguel Sapochnik, I'm probably butchering that. Is directing episode 3. He has directed 2 other episodes. He's directed a couple episodes of Game of Thrones. He directed the episode in season 5, The Gift, which I'd have to look up and see exactly what happened in that episode. Nothing like super really important. But then he directed the episode Hardhome. Right?
Yeah.
The Battle of Hardhome. In 2016, he directed the episode The Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah, there he did. You did.
Yeah, so he's directed 2 very large battle scenes. So that tells me, boom, that's it. Which is what we've been thinking anyway, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. So then we're setting up for that battle in episode 2, and then 3, we're starting right in with a huge battle. Yeah. I like it.
And then he's also directing episode 5. Which leads me to think we don't know what that second big battle is gonna be, but you know, we're saying obviously King's Landing probably. I mean,
sure.
I don't know. So that's your second big battle, and then episode 6 is directed by Dan and Dave, who direct and write most of the episodes anyway. But yeah, so that, I mean, obviously they would be the ones closing it out. But so to me, and just looking at like, okay, this is who wrote this episode, this is who's directing this one. I mean, that just it adds up, right? Like it just kind of clicks. Okay, it seems like this is obviously the route you would go.
Right. So 3 and 5, it's a slaughter fest.
3 and 5 are gonna be big battles. I'm saying.
Yeah, and then we'll have some bittersweet, you know, heartbreak there in 6. One of our main characters, you know, who we'll talk about at the end of this episode, is going to live and one's going to die, or they're both going to live or they're both going to die. Something's going to happen. Right. So, okay, cool. All right. Well, you know, I was just on this big kick where I was going through and looking at what all of the actors, you know, were saying, and just in regards to when they got the script, you know, what did they do? And, for example, Emilia Clarke, you know, I mean, like Reddit, she said that she spent hours just kind of like after she finished it, walking around, you know, the town that she was in there, and just could not come to grips with it, was just sort of like overwhelmed, teared up, was crying, you know, and said that it, you know, it could have been a sunny day, but it felt like it was raining outside. You know, that was the feeling. It's just a rainy feel is what she had. And then I was looking at like, let's see, Sophie and Macy, both seemed to hint at on Good Morning America that their characters didn't have a good end. They even went as far as to kind of, you know, it seemed like from what they said, you have to go watch the interview, but that they were coming to terms with the ending, that they were both kind of like, they kind of laughed about it, but almost like we've had to make peace with it. And I'm like, wait, what? Like that's kind of saying a lot, or is it? You know?
Well, Well, here's the thing. I think that because you have to think about like from an actor's point of view. I think it's more like, is it true to their character, right? So like, if to me, Arya having to say like settle down and marry someone is like just like we just immediately assume, oh, it means they die. Well, Arya having to say marry Gendry, right? To like, whatever. That is not like the type of ending that Arya, I think, if I were an actor playing Arya, that's not how I would want Arya to end.
Yeah. Yeah, and that could be a way to look at it too, and that's just that because another actor, for example, we had Gwendolyn Christie had kind of said that a lot of things were made right, and then a lot of things were not made right. So a lot of characters got sort of either what they deserved, and a lot of characters did not get what they deserved. So just like you're saying, when we think about like, well, Jon Snow deserves to sit the Iron Throne. Well, maybe he does. Maybe, even if he does, he might not get it. You know what I mean? Type of thing. So that's what I got from what she said. So
first, the real question, who thinks he does deserve it? Because the last time I checked,
oh boy. But
I didn't see that character die. So we still have stuff to get to, but we'll get to our bold predictions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, the reason I did this today, so I went around, I looked at everybody, Ian, and I looked at all the different other characters who, Lena and everyone who, just to see what their reactions were in interviews. The only actor who looked like he was just having a good time, everything seems well with him. He didn't seem John Bradley, Sam Will Tarly seemed good. He seemed like he might have had the best ending. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of a funny way to look at it because I was trying to read their facial expressions, like what are they giving away, what are they betraying, So they're all happy to have made it to season 8 because every season it was like flip to your character to see if you lived or if you died. That was
some characters did die along the way and they're still here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
So okay, so let's go with some just general bold predictions. Start with some of these minor characters, or supporting characters, I guess. And so one of your first ones was that Tormund is going to die, right?
Yeah, I think Tormund, man. I don't want Tormund to die. I really want Tormund to get with Brienne. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'm only going based off like some of the evidence that we have, because I do think I think a main character has to die. I hope it's not like Harry Potter, right? Like the 7th book of Harry Potter, where it seems like they just kill half the cast and like or half the characters in like the first chapter because like they needed to.
Sure. Yeah. That'd be bad.
Like I hope that's not like what happens. But I think it would be cool if somebody were to die, like not by the Night King, but I do think Tormund's obviously going to die like via the Night King. But we had talked about like Euron, like possibly his death. Like like the Game of Thrones is still going on.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. So my bold prediction was just that he would die saving Brienne, and I don't even know if that's
right.
that bold of a prediction. I'm not sure where I'm just blanking on where he was in the trailer, but I don't think we saw him, as you said, in Winterfell. I don't
remember seeing him,
but I am hoping he is there, and then he's with Brienne a little bit more, and has to kind of maybe sacrifice himself, and that moves her in some way. That would be kind of a. So that's that. I mean, bold predictions here. I think that he's going to die. Sacrificing himself for Brienne so she can make it. So.
Yeah. Okay. So question for you.
Yeah.
And just trying things I've just been thinking about with the season here. Do you think one, Daenerys is pregnant, and two, Cersei, we were kind of told is pregnant. Do you think that is going to play any part in this season at all?
Yes. I do think it's going to play a part.
Yes to both, or
I do think it's going to play a part. I do think Dany is pregnant. I do think it's going to be that will be at some point brought up, whether it's by the end and that's some bittersweet thing. That's part of why I think, and I gotta save that to the end because I can't give
Right.
But yeah,
Right,
I think
right,
I think
right.
it is going to play a major part. So yeah, I think that's my mindset is that she is pregnant and that Gilly's baby will play a role. Cersei's, air quote child could play a role in some of the decisions made by these characters for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to take us through some of the supporting cast here. So we already talked about Euron. We already talked about Beric Dondarrion. I want to bring him up early.
Definitely dead.
Jiminy Christmas.
No, I'm not. That doesn't mean he's not going to come back to life again.
Yeah.
He's definitely dying.
Yeah, he is dying at some point. I don't know when. I am hoping that he dies protecting the Hound, or that the Hound sees another. I mean, the Hound already had someone. He had Thoros. Protect him or
right.
Sacrifice himself for him. So I don't know.
So here's what I think is going to happen. I've thought a little bit more about this.
Yeah.
So in the books, Sir Ezra, how is it that Lady Stoneheart comes back to life?
She's given the kiss, the last kiss, from Beric. He gives up his life for hers. Yeah.
Yeah. So what if the Hound what if the Hound were to die at the Battle of Winter? Because I still think Clegane Bowl is happening. There's too much build up for it. And not just because the fans want it, but it's also like the only way I could see Clegane Bowl not happening is if. No, I'll still get to it, but it's just
okay. Yeah.
So,
because I think I know where you're driving
I think the Hound will die in the Battle of Winterfell, and Beric will give up his life
to bring him back.
To bring back the Hound, and then that kind of ties in. That's how Beric, he gives up,
that's his last life.
His life, right, for Lady Stoneheart, so then you can kind of have that fan service in there.
Cool.
The Hound, I think, is either going to die fighting his brother, kill his brother, or he's going to get severely wounded, and he watches Arya kill his brother as he's dying. And so it's kind of like a bittersweet moment, right, where he sees Arya crossing a name off his list, and then maybe Arya gives him mercy, right?
Sure.
And kills him, because remember, we already had that moment. His name is still on the list, and that way she could still cross his name off the list, but it's a very bittersweet moment because she no longer wants to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah,
I think that would be a very poetic, bittersweet way to do it. And I can envision it, right? So that, then the Hound gets to be killed by somebody, he at least kind of, you could even say loves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a super cool way to do it. And then he he trained Arya, helped her. He gets to watch her kill his brother. So
yeah, like it. Okay, let's switch over to a character that I'm interested in is Grey Worm. And
I don't know, man.
And yeah, I mean that's a tough one. I mean he's a fan favorite. People love him in the Missandei thing.
Missandei, yeah.
That's such a cool, thing. What I think my bold prediction is I think he will face one of the others
White Walkers
in single combat or something. There'll be a moment during the battle where he faces one of them and is able to take one of the generals, commanders out, and that could, if they're connected in a hive, thrall type of situation, knock out a portion of their force, and that would be a huge thing.
Well, I mean, Grey Worm's, he's very, very skilled, right?
Yeah.
My Grey Worm, I just don't know, because a lot of these characters, their stories are tied together.
Mm-hmm. So.
It's if Grey Worm dies, then what do you do with Missandei?
Yeah, I think she's just still with Daenerys. She's in mourning.
She's just kind of there.
Yeah, she interprets still, and she's an advisor.
I
know.
Don't know.
I know
I don't know. Yeah,
that sucks. I know. I mean, I couldn't imagine him going on without Missandei. I mean, I could see if Missandei is attacked, I could see him go into a rage and just take out a slew of a slew of people.
Yeah, I think Missandei is more likely to die, and then Grey Worm kind of goes nuts, kills a bunch of people, and then dies.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
I think she's more likely to die first.
Gotcha.
But I'd give Grey Worm a 60% chance of dying.
The reason I struggle with her going first is I just don't know would that happen in the second battle or the first battle, or does that even happen in the battle at all? You know what I mean? Because if it's at Winterfell,
I'd have to say the first. Clearly they have not shown us. I don't think we've seen a single clip of footage post episode 3.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know where is she down in the crypts there with everyone else that we think everyone's in the crypts?
I honestly don't think we've seen her.
Yes, I just don't know where she would be in harm's way. I wouldn't have Miss Sandy out there anywhere near.
I'd have to imagine she's with Daenerys at Winterfell.
Yeah, but I just mean, like, where did they? So, like, if
she's
I guess
probably
if
in
you
the
got
crypts, she's probably
because if Varys is there and Gilly and everybody else, yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's say Podrick Payne.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dying.
No, Podrick makes it. I think he makes it. I said that Tormund would save, Brienne's life. And I believe
Pod could too.
Yeah, that he could be a character that would do that as well, or that if they make it through the Battle of Winterfell, then I think Brienne could be someone who, maybe Pod gets knighted. Maybe he gets on after the Battle of Winterfell, take a knee, and we knight, our squire Podrick Payne, and then later on, she has to give her life for him, and then so you've got Sir Podrick Payne, who is this, was a part of this great battle, who was knighted, who will remember her, and I don't know, just kind of poetic too,
Right. Yeah, I definitely think Brienne is dying. And I think I do. I think Brienne is dying at Winterfell.
Really?
And yeah, here's what I think is going to happen.
Oh,
think that it's going to get bad.
Yeah.
And I think that she is going to give her sword to Jaime.
Okay.
So that Jaime can fulfill the oath, right?
Okay.
Of protecting the Stark children, and he'll get Oathkeeper back.
Yeah. I like that a lot, and I will to go along with that, before she gives the sword, as she's dying, just like Sir Arlen of Pennytree, she will say the words for Pod, and then, it'll be kind of like a Duncan, Sir Dunk situation, and then give the sword over to Jaime. And so that's crazy. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Other supporting characters here before we get into some of the.
Well, okay. Let's some of these characters we can do kind of fast. Qyburn, I don't know. I think he's gonna die, but he's a character where it's like I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. I think his fate is the same as Cersei's, and maybe it's just a part of. Put to death.
I definitely think he's gonna die at some point, like during the Battle of King's Landing. I just see him dying. Has Edmure Tully listed? I specifically thought the actor said he wasn't going to be in it. I hope he plays a part, because I think
me too.
Cool.
I hope he does. Yeah.
I hope he does. There's so many angles you could go in on that.
Right.
Lyanna Mormont, there's no way she's dying.
No.
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 If
that happens, I am gonna be in tears and just in my cups for weeks.
If she's dead, then they're screwed. So
that's just.
I'm really looking forward to the. I really hope we get a Lyanna Mormont
speech,
Jorah Mormont moment.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool. Yeah.
Robin Aaron. Yeah, I see him maybe bringing more like knights in or something. Or as we said, the Eyrie gets attacked. I don't think he has much. I don't think he has much screen time.
Right. Okay.
Jan Royce, same thing. He's just going to be part of the battle.
Right.
Yara Greyjoy. So that we go back to that. She's definitely in it. I definitely think she dies.
Yeah, I think she dies, and I think Theon takes out Euron, and and so then he's just left.
She's like injured or something, and then he she's like, okay, now you can fulfill your destiny, right? And so she gives him like some speech, and then he shows up and helps out.
Yeah. Okay. Can I say something? It's gonna be kind of bizarre here, but like now that I'm looking at maybe how that could go down with the Greyjoys, and then I look at House Stark, it's like something Gur has done in his books is just that like houses, like great families, Like their line dies out, their family name dies out, and so anyway, just kind of interesting to think about. The Greyjoys possibly, after this is all said and done, not being a thing anymore. The Starks, even we were talking about.
Well, they were never really a thing to begin with. So
no, I mean like even over on the Iron Islands. Who rules the Iron Islands after the Great? I mean, how can Theon continue the
I know.
the line?
Can we really call the Greyjoys like a great house?
Hey man, hey,
they're
I
definitely
don't know.
the weakest. Yeah, but
What's dead may never die.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, it's true. Yeah, so we'll see. So okay, so that's kind of it. Harry Strickland with the Golden Company. Yeah, I mean,
he makes it for a while. I don't know.
Yeah, he's gonna make it. I don't know. It's the Golden Company. We don't have enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go up and let's work our way from the bottom of, because I think you and I are looking at the same list.
Yep.
Let's work our way up, because then we'll get to the some of the bigger characters, obviously. So, Jorah Mormont.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, to me, we see him. Wait, yeah, we do see him at the Battle of Winterfell in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's one of those things. Like I keep finding these poetic things, right? It's not going to go the way we think, I don't think, but I think he's going to die. And
at
I think
the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah.
I do too.
But I think
I'm saying like 95%.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's going to be perhaps to save Dany. I hope. In some way,
Oh, definitely.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if Lyanna is down in the crypts and he's there and she sees him, kind of protecting them as well. That's something. I keep thinking of characters who can tell the story later on, and like Lyanna going back and redeeming Jorah's name a bit. You know what I mean? So that would be kind of neat. So yeah, but I think he's
I remember reading. Well, I'm going to use air quotes here. A plot leak.
Oh boy.
That Talking Thrones did like a year ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's totally just as far as I mean.
Yeah, it's not.
It very easily could turn out to be true. I don't want to entirely discredit this thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, sure.
To me, it seems like something somebody wrote, and it's really good. Don't get me wrong. It's really good. And this guy's like argument, he said like, oh man, all this stuff happens. And then like Jon ends up taking Heart's Bane from Sam and that's Lightbringer, and he stabs like Dany with it, or no, he stabs Melisandre with it, and then it catches on fire and all this stuff. And then he like tosses Longclaw to Jorah Mormont. So I will say, I would think it would be pretty cool if Jorah Mormont had
had Longclaw
a moment with Longclaw, but now it has a wolf on it, so
I still think that'd be.
It was a bear, and then it got a wolf, but Jon's not even really a wolf,
right?
He's a dragon, so
that'd be that would just be really cool, to see.
But I do think it'd be cool if he just used it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Gendry.
Man, as you say, I think you said maybe something about Arya and Gendry getting together, and that not being something that they might want.
Well, I think it's what Gendry wants, but it's just not really Arya's character.
Sure, yeah. I just think with her becoming who she is, the assassin that she is, it's just not in the works. I think he lives. I think he lives.
I do think Gendry lives. I'd give
big time.
I'd give Gendry 75% chance of living.
Yeah, I totally see him making it.
See, that's kind of where I go, because I don't really think Arya's gonna die. I do think it would be like she becomes a lady. I think she and Gendry are gonna get together.
Wow.
And
yeah.
She's gonna have to be a lady, and it's so funny because she's like, I'm not a lady. I'm not a lady. I'm not a lady.
Right.
And then that's kind of like how her ending is, and I think that would be. And then I'll get to Sansa later, but
sure.
Yeah. So
that's ironic. Yeah.
Yeah. Bronn.
Yeah. I mean, like we had said, you thought in the trailer that you had heard Jaime yelling Bronn's name, maybe, right. At the battle of Winterfell, because they seem to become, to get a little closer. Yeah, he's another character though that I kind of feel like, I don't know. That's really tough. I think he's
dying.
I think he's gonna make it.
I don't think he's dying at the Battle of Winterfell. I think he'll die in the second large battle, and I think
he
will do it. I think he will do it either saving Tyrion or saving Jaime, because that's kind of been his whole character arc, is he keeps saving the Lannisters, keeps putting himself in harm's way to save the Lannisters, and then finally it gets to him. Yeah. And I don't think it's gonna be like a poetic ending. I think it's gonna kind of suck.
Yeah. Okay.
And like he may even have it where he's like really pissed about it. Like as he's dying, he's like, I never should have
Yeah, I get
you. Kind of like one of those. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh my gosh, that's good.
Yeah. Gilly.
Yeah, Gilly.
I don't think she'll die.
No, if they kill Gilly, dude, I will lose my mind.
I just don't really see the purpose of it, because we'll get to Sam. I think there's 0% chance Sam dies.
Sure, I'm kind of with you on that, but I think,
and so I think Gilly has to live too.
Yeah, I mean, I think could you? I don't know. I feel like I could see, like maybe the Night King gets into that crypt, and wants her baby, she won't give it up.
Right.
And someone tries to force her to give it up, maybe Varys or somebody who's down there, and then that enrages Sam, maybe. I don't know. And maybe Sam comes out of nowhere and pulls a hero moment again.
And stabs the Night King with dragon glass, and that's it.
That's it, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just don't see Gilly dying.
She's not dying.
Let's think of the only scenario I can see. I was about to say, let's think of a scenario in which she could die. I'm with you. If she were to, I think it'd be like the Night King. It's like she sacrifices herself
for her baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That would be, yeah.
We talked about Tormund, Melisandre.
Man, Melisandre,
1% chance she lives.
I don't know, man. Is she the good guy or the bad guy?
Yeah, that's good. That's another question too. Yeah, I just Melisandre's death seems like that's definitely happening.
Yeah, I feel like it would be interesting if it's like, if Davos is involved in some way, to get some sort of
I don't know. There's so many people that could be. Varys has like kind of beef with
connection.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she could sacrifice herself in some weird way. I mean, she definitely seems like she's trying to kill the Night King. Like clearly.
For sure. But I mean, I could see her almost maybe being redeemed in Davos's eyes. The whole time it's like she's trying to convince him of the, R'hllor, the Lord of Light, and maybe she does, willingly give herself up as some sort of.
I could see the Night King killing her too.
Oh,
like that would, because I think that would be the best way for her to die, because she's like, really, she's the only aspect of R'hllor that we have.
Yeah.
Right. Like clearly we see the Night King, and we're like, okay, there's that and the Great Other, but we don't really have like a champion of light.
Yeah.
And so really our only kind of tie to it has been, people like Beric Dondarrion, but it's always seemed like Melisandre is the leader of that. So.
Right. Yeah. Where does, will we get like a Bran Melisandre showdown in any way? Not like not like they're trying to kill each other, but like a battle of wills, or like of wit or something. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Varys. Ooh, this one's hard. Varys.
I think, I don't know. That is so hard. That is so tough. I feel like he lives. I feel like he lives for some reason. I don't know why. That's a gut feeling. Yeah.
This is something I'm gonna. So not really knowing where the books are gonna be.
Yeah.
But you and I have talked about this at length. I think the Littlefinger thing was either mishandled in the show, or they're like, we don't have enough to write on, and then they kindly decide, all right, we're just gonna go with it. Because a lot of that Sansa, Arya, Littlefinger stuff in season 7 felt like they just didn't have stuff for them to do. Because we just didn't secrets about Littlefinger weren't revealed. They just kind of killed him.
I got you.
And so there's so much information that was like left out there.
Yeah, or it seemed kind of rushed. Yeah.
It's literally like the only moment of Game of Thrones that I generally feel like that was just like bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Like rewatching the Hound and Brienne fight, that like I understand why they did it in the books, but that's like, I don't know. Like, because that doesn't happen in the books, in the show, the Hound Brienne fight. That's like Brienne. That's like like one of my least favorite moments in the show, because I'm like, this is just. It's not like it's bad, but it's just like, it's just. I
get
don't
you.
like it. I understand they did it to get to like a similar event, right? And, and it's just Brienne being dumb.
Yeah.
But so but the Littlefinger thing is definitely is different. Where I felt like this is kind of like bad. If I ever had to knock Game of Thrones, and so that's why I feel like Varys could die, and we could be left not knowing a lot of information.
Yeah, because I always felt like it's going to come. There's going to be a Varys Littlefinger showdown. You know what I mean?
I did too. I always thought it was going to come down to that.
Yeah, and it just didn't. So I guess I could see him going too, but it's just gut feeling. I think he's going to live for some reason, and he's always been fighting for the realm in some way, seemingly in his own way.
He's also got that like there's something religious happened to him at some point,
right?
Because Melisandre,
Yeah.
So there's some there. I think we're gonna get that aspect of it, which may give us a little bit more on his background. We're not gonna get a lot of the like, how did you become a spider, all that stuff. I don't think we're gonna get any of that political stuff, but I think we will get a little bit more of that mysticism,
right?
Around here. Okay, we've talked about the Hound a little bit. I kind of outlined my thing. What do you think?
Well, I love the idea that Beric would give up his life to bring him back. You've sold me on that 100%. And I think he just flat out beats the Mountain, and
just straight up beats him.
Yeah, I think he beats him. And you know how you're kind of saying maybe Arya ticks off a name, with the Mountain there, but then she doesn't get to tick off Cersei. I think it might be maybe the opposite. Maybe she does get to tick off Cersei, and Jaime doesn't get, where everyone's talking about Jaime, killing Cersei and things like that.
The Valonqar, yeah.
Yeah, I think she might have more maybe to do with the Cersei situation than the Mountain. But I don't know, though. She's more emotionally tied to the Hound and the Mountain and what happened to, the butcher's boy and everything like that, and her friend. So
right.
I kind of do. I'm torn there, but I just think he's going to beat him outright. And maybe Arya is a part of that, but
yeah.
I think he lives all the way, man.
Okay, man.
So
Bran.
Yeah, Bran is I just do not know what is going to happen there. If this is all said and done after episode 3 and the Night King's defeated and it's some other battle between like for the Game of Thrones, for the throne type of thing, then Bran's to me irrelevant after 3. Unless the Night King survives, then we'll need him into episode 5, to face him. There'll be some extra stuff going down there. But otherwise, it depends on do we defeat the Night King and the Night King's completely gone, or are they just vanquished back to the land of always winter, and then we still need a 3-eyed crow / 3-eyed raven to keep them at bay, as the children, were trying to, as I think it was Lord Adam Parker had said in his theory, or someone had said that that Bran was sort of the counter, that the 3-eyed crow / raven, was a position made by the children to kind of keep the Night King in check. So I would say he lives, I guess. I think the good guys win in the end, and he's still there, but he's just in a weird. I think it's a weird place.
More and more, I'm thinking about that idea of you will fly.
Yep.
I think that Bran is going. I've said before, I think Bran's going to die. I think he's going to die somehow fighting the Night King. Unless they go with my like X-Men Days of Future Past story arc, right? Where it's like, okay, like he's coming, we got to hold him off. And then Bran does something in the past that, changes the whole timeline and nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen, but that is a possibility. I could see happening.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what's going to happen. But I do think Bran is going to try to kill the Night King by warging into Viserion, white Viserion, and that way, and he will like fly, right? So he will take control of a dragon, and it's like it's too much for him or something. So
gotcha. In
a way to kind of save people, get them out. All of that stuff. That's what I see happening. I think you once they lose that like magical tie, that gives them, because right now Bran's like their weapon, right? Bran's like, they don't really know it yet, but Bran's like your super weapon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Like he's your eyes and your ears. Like he's like the single most important piece of your army, because he has like, God level powers.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I think once you lose that opens the door for, okay, well, we need something else. Whether it's
gotcha. So
Azor
you're
Ahai,
saying
Azor Ahai or something.
Yeah, you're kind of saying like Night King, maybe, Bran fights him, that kind of thing. We had the big battle there.
Yeah.
Night King still prevails. Bran is gone. Doors open for Jon or Dany or somebody to step in.
I could also, and it may not happen at the Battle of Winterfell.
Okay.
I do think he's taking control of a dragon, and maybe Viserion dies, and so the Night King just has to like march down, to King's Landing.
Yeah.
And I could also see Bran just getting like really weakened from like that first encounter, and then Bran figures it out, because Melisandre's tried to bring Azor Ahai back with Stannis. It didn't really work. Now she thinks it's Jon Snow. Well, who has the power to go back and see what happened with the first Azor Ahai?
Yeah,
Bran. So they can figure out, okay, this is what we have to do.
Wow, that would be crazy. Yeah, if he sort of tells them the ritual and things, and it's something that they, a sacrifice has to be made, and they can't make it. Maybe he tells them that in episode 2, and then they didn't follow his advice. They didn't. Yeah. Do what he, and then they lose the Battle of Winterfell, and it's like, okay, I actually do have to plunge this sword into somebody's heart.
Yeah, because I still think, unless they go way like left field and bring back Mira Reed and do like a Howland Reed type level explanation, you're still going to need Bran at least episode 1 or 2 to explain, like,
what's going on.
Here's what's going on, and I do still think we may get we'll get another Rhaegar Lyanna flashback, because as I said before, we still don't know why in the show. The show has still yet to tell us why any of those events happened.
Yeah.
All we know right now is it was just built on a lie, and they loved each, and he just sees them getting married. But we don't know. Did Rhaegar do it because he wanted to fulfill the Azor Ahai prophecy? Did he do it because you and I are working on a mega episode of some theories that we've read and kind of put together some thoughts of our own of some other events of what probably seemingly more likely went down at the tourney at Harrenhal. Stay tuned for that on Patreon. But the show has told us R plus L equals J, but we still don't know why.
Yeah, that's a good point. We don't know how to connect. We know that they're connected through those characters, but how do we prove that to everybody else? What's the proof? Is it just Sam and Bran saying it? I don't know. It's
right. And
still a lot to go.
Yeah, and why? So I think we'll get that in a flashback.
Sure.
Samwell Tarly.
Yeah, I mean, we said it before. I think Sam's living. I think Sam is essential to this. I think he's, as you look at the histories, and we've been reading Fire and Blood, A World of Ice and Fire, and it's like he's going to be a maester in the future who will tell the story.
Yeah, I totally think the final scene is that thing people have been kind of speculating. Gur getting a cameo as Sam in the future writing the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah. Can you tell? So, okay, real quickly, you brought up a couple of different things about Sam and Gilly earlier before we started.
And a lot of people have made the argument that Sam is Azor Ahai. And
yeah.
I will say I in my rewatch I hit the episode the battle at Castle Black.
Right.
Like last week. And Sam like promises Gilly that he won't die in that battle.
Yeah.
So
promise me, Sam.
Promise me, Sam. And then he talks about like, I am the man of the Night's Watch. I defend the realm. Sword, all that stuff.
Right.
He has a sword called Heartsbane.
Yep.
And he is now the actual heir to House Tarly. So.
Yeah. Well, and what's neat is too, we said maybe the Night's Watch is disbanded after this. Maybe all of their. The vows
at
they
this
took.
point, there's only like 12. I mean, if there was only 50 people when Jon Snow was Lord Commander,
Yeah.
how many people can there be now? Like 5?
Right, I know.
You know what I mean? And like, it's Sam is one of them. Like,
yeah. So, wow. All right. Yeah. Cool. I like that. So I think we both kind of think he's going to make it. Next we have
so we have Brienne. We both kind of talked about Brienne.
We talked about Miss Sandy a little bit.
We talked a little bit with Sandy. Theon.
I think he lives all the way. You know.
Yeah.
Such a crazy thing, but
I think I do too. I think he's going to kill Euron.
He's been through so much. I just feel like, you know.
I think Theon shows up at Winterfell with boats and gets people out. Well, not Winterfell, but like that coast.
Yeah.
And gets people out, or he helps take them to like King's Landing. Other than that, I don't really know what Theon's gonna do.
Yeah, I think he's just around to the end kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think he just kind of lives by like default.
Yeah. So many awful things have happened. It's sort of like, really? You know, it's just let him live. I don't know. He's already miserable, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know that. Yeah, there's that. Let's see here. Who else we have? So we had, Arya.
Yeah.
Tough.
So I've kind of already laid out my Arya prediction with Gendry. I think she lives. I think she marries Gendry and is a lady.
You know, here's the thing. I'm just going to go ahead and since back to back we're doing Arya and Sansa. I honestly think that I don't know. People are going to think this is crazy. Are we going to have a Stark left? I mean, at this point, like, you know, you have Bran, who I'm guessing being in the state that he is, and even just the mental state that he is as the three-eyed raven, is not going to continue the Stark line. And Sansa has been married twice. Arya would then maybe, I mean, if she does live on, I guess then there's, you know, something to be said for that. But Jon, if he's a Targaryen, is not technically a Stark. Rickon is dead. Robb is dead. Does that line, is it wiped out? You know, like, isn't that crazy?
Not entirely. I'll get to it here in a second.
I mean, who are they bringing back from the dead? You know,
I don't think they're bringing anybody back from the dead, but yeah, I'm.
Okay, all right, you're gonna get to it. I got you.
Okay, get to it.
So for me, Arya, I feel like is not going to make it, actually, and I like Arya a lot. She's one of my favorite characters. I love Arya. Let's be honest, and I don't know, just I like her spirit. And I like everything about her, but yeah, I mean, I hope she lives, but I'm just trying to be real here. I don't know that she's going to make it because she's one of the fighters, I guess, is the way I see it. And so she's at a higher risk, I guess, of dying than maybe Sansa, even though Sansa's going to be at Winterfell, you know, so, and she's without her direwolf. You know, we talked about maybe Nymeria making an appearance, saving Arya at the Battle of Winterfell or something. So there's that. But these two are just, you know, my bold prediction here is, I mean, what if Arya died saving Sansa? You know, and Sansa just didn't like her all those years. You know, they finally get close. Right. They have this moment where they're starting to get close. They join up. They gang up on Littlefinger. And then Arya has to protect her older sister, Sansa, you know, saves her life. And it just hardens Sansa even more. And, you know, I mean, gosh. That's kind of where I'm thinking Arya's headed. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sansa. I'm going to let you go first on Sansa.
All right, me on Sansa here. Let me think. Well, so I think she is saved by Arya, and I think she does make it out of Winterfell. I think everyone is gearing up for these confrontations based on the book, things that are going to happen, you know, based on prophecy and Valonqar prophecy and all that kind of stuff. I actually think Sansa is going to end up facing Cersei once again, and in some way, you know. I don't know. I just feel like she's going to live and she's going to be down there, and whether she kills her or whatever, I feel like she's at least going to get that chance to face her, and I think she does live. So, yeah. And I actually think she, you know, makes things right with Tyrion and lives out her days with Tyrion Lannister. So, you know, why not, right? So... What
let's pull up the Valonqar prophecy, right? Let's see if can we find that, the full
Yeah, the Valonqar. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah, I'll pull it up here.
Man, I'm on the Wikipedia page here, and it's not.
Yeah, you're talking about the prophecy for Cersei, right? And
Right. Yeah.
her demise.
Yeah. Right. And so, what exactly is said that she would die at the hands of the Valonqar, right? Cersei's also told that she would be like overthrown by a younger queen, right?
Yeah. Yes, she is. Yeah.
That's. It's not just the Valonqar, right? It's not just the. So yes, quotes by Maggie the Frog. When will I wed the prince? Never. You will wed the king, Robert Baratheon. I will be queen, though. Queen you shall be until there comes another, younger and more beautiful, to cast down all that you hold dear. Will the king and I have children? Oh, yes. 6 and 10 for him, 3 for you. And when your tears have drowned you, the Valonqar shall wrap his hands around your pale white throat and choke the life from you. Will I marry Jaime? No, not Jaime, nor any other man. Worms will have your maidenhead. That's for the other girl. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it just says that until another queen younger comes. So I think that younger queen is Sansa Stark,
Queen of the North.
Queen of the North, because whether it's through childbirth or in the North, I don't know if Daenerys makes it to the battle at King's Landing.
You say that again?
I don't know, through childbirth or the battle in the North. I don't know if Daenerys makes it to the battle at King's Landing.
What are you saying right now, man? What are you trying to say?
I think that if you really wanted to shock people, you killed Daenerys Targaryen at the Battle of Winterfell.
Oh my! Can we bring her back with Melisandre?
I don't know.
Something?
I don't know, man.
Could Barrett give her the? I mean,
I don't know that Jon and Daenerys make it to the battle at King's Landing. So
wow, that's unreal. Yeah. Okay.
So I think logically, you have Jon marry Sansa.
Really?
And then that makes Sansa queen, of the whole thing, man.
Oh my goodness.
I think Sansa is the character who more than anyone deserves the Iron Throne. She deserves it.
Uh-huh.
I don't see a scenario in where killing her makes any sense.
Okay.
I think it would. I actually think killing Sansa would be bad, because I think she deserves to live more than any other character. Because what does killing her do? It would just be like bad. It would just be like, oh, we just need to kill her.
Yeah.
Like Sansa's whole arc has been learning how. Like Cersei is the best at the Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's her. She is without question the best. She's survived. She's done the thing. She's the best master manipulator. But Sansa's whole arc is learning, much like Cersei, right? Like Cersei wanted to marry Rhaegar. Didn't work out. She had to marry Robert Baratheon. Mm-hmm. Sansa wanted to marry Joffrey. Turns out Joffrey's a crazed maniac. She gets married to the imp, right?
Yeah.
So Sansa wants to marry Cersei wants to marry the beautiful, Rhaegar Targaryen, the last dragon, all of these things, and instead she gets a drunken, whoring Robert Baratheon.
Yeah.
Right? Who's like fat, and all this stuff. So Sansa's whole arc is essentially becoming a better version of Cersei, right? A smarter version of Cersei.
Yeah. Yeah. Learning from her along the way. Yeah.
To me, she's the ultimate winner.
She sits the Iron Throne. I like that.
Yeah, man.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Let me tell you something that kind of backs that up a little bit. Is a lot of folks believe if she's the younger, more beautiful queen, when the prophecy, when that is said to Cersei, Valonqar, it was the Valonqar of the queen, and so if that were to mean the younger sibling, just instead of like brother.
Mm-hmm.
If it's younger sibling, it could be Arya then who would kill Cersei still. Like it would still kind of work. She's overtaken by the younger, more beautiful queen, and then the Valonqar, being the younger sibling, could be the one who actually kills her.
Because right now Sansa is
wow.
I mean, so think about this for a second, right? So there's a lot of I could see Sansa staying like renewing her marriage with Tyrion,
sure,
and going that route. I could also see Sansa marrying Jaime, and going that route, because I think there's also a very strong chance that Jaime sits the Iron Throne and survives the whole thing.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So, but like, if they wanted to pull something from the books, by rights, actually,
Sure.
right now, since by rights, actually, Tyrion is actually king. Because if the Lannisters have just claimed the throne, since Cersei's no longer Baratheon, well, a woman can't sit the Iron Throne based upon like the rules, and Jaime is still technically like Kingsguard, right? And like, so that means the oldest Lannister male is Tyrion, making Tyrion king.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's that's so complex. There's so many things, because
like there's so many routes they could go, but I think Sansa sits the Iron Throne.
No, I mean,
if there's if unless they like destroy the Iron Throne, but I think I see 0% chance in my mind that Sansa dies. She deserves it. She's the best.
Right.
I think I could find tons of supporting evidence that Gurr like is going that route in the books anyway, and has planned to do that from the start. Also, if you there's also I don't know that this plays any part into their story elements, but think about where we are right now, kind of as a society, and you're talking about one of the largest television shows, and it's like, boom, we're placing a female as the winner.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah. No, I think that would be huge.
I mean, that's just where we're going as a society, where we're finally giving women all these the recognition they rightfully deserve. You look at like Captain Marvel. We're recording this a week out, right? So and I'm a big wrestling fan. WrestleMania's on right now, and the main event is 3 women. So I mean, it's I know it's where we're at. So like, to me, I could totally see it.
Yeah, it's happening in Star Wars. It's happening, and I think it's
everything.
It's fantastic. And as you said, he's been writing this for. If this was his plan all along, and this was clear back in Game of Thrones, the first book. I mean, that is just, it's huge. It's something she's always dreamed of doing. Being the queen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, or being with a knight, or just whatever, being a lady at court, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. That is, my friend. I feel like we have the title of this episode: Sansa Sits the Iron Throne, confirmed. I feel like that's going to be.
I'm just saying, man. And whether she sits it with Tyrion or she sits it with Jaime, I think is a very strong option as well. I don't know why. I just have it in this mind. I just see this image of like Jaime and Sansa. Like, it's something Jaime never really wants, but it's like, okay, we can solidify these houses. I don't know what Tyrion would say, that, hey, you stole my wife, kind of a thing. I don't know why. I see that.
You said something interesting with Jon, because that was the air quote.
But Jon, I definitely
brother.
think Jon. Yeah.
If Dany doesn't make it or something, like you're saying.
And then that also keeps that kind of Stark line, because then you have half Stark, half Targaryen.
Sure.
Well, half Targaryen, half Stark, half Tully, right? That's like their father, dad thing. So yeah.
Wow, I love that. Sansa has grown on me so much, just in the book, in the series, and then even just, and I think that's the point, is she just kind of keeps more and more and more. We really enjoy her character. So she and Arya, I hope they make it. I don't think Arya will, but I was.
Is there a scenario in which you see Sansa dying?
Okay, that is tough, because I don't think she would die at Winterfell. I don't think she would just be down in the crypts and then, die. I mean, I think, like I said, I think Arya could possibly save her from dying. Maybe she is put in peril, but I mean, as you say, why? And then in King's Landing, I feel like she's already gone through, kind of like Theon. She's gone through so much that, like, I mean, it would suck. Like, I feel like of Theon and Sansa, just all the things that they've gone through. It's like, if one of those, you can't have both those characters just like, okay, all of a sudden they've gone through so much crap. Now one of them gets, or both of them get to, live and be, and everything's made right. I feel like one of them is just going to continue to be bad. It might just be Theon. Theon just ends up having a miserable life or does die. And then Sansa, is someone we can root for and get behind because of all the evil things that have been done to the Stark family and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, the only I guess I could see, I mean, it would be crazy if something happened between her and Cersei. They're not going to fight each other, though. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, who's going to fight Sansa? You know what I'm saying? What would put her in harm's way? So,
yeah, I don't know.
What alliance would be made, I guess, that would, yeah. So I think you're right. I think I don't know how she would die, So that one, those two have been really hard for me. Arya being the fighter, I can see she gets in harm's way, but Sansa, I don't see it. I don't know how. So, yeah, I love that though. That is awesome. So
all right,
man. Yeah. Who else we got here?
Davos,
man. I like Davos a lot. I think there's gonna be a confrontation between him and Melisandre. That's been foreshadowed. To come. I think we'll see something happen there. But he's another one of those characters that, like, he's more of a commander, and he's the Onion Knight, maybe. I don't know why you would kill him either, I mean, I could see him just dying some epic death too, but I just don't know why.
I have him in my, like, Tormund camp where I love Davos.
Yeah.
Davos is an amazing character. I think he's one of those characters you could kill in, like, the Battle of Winterfell early, and it's just like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what I mean? Just to show, like, how, like, the Night King means business. You know what I mean?
It would really hurt us,
like,
as an audience.
It would hurt. It's like I'm gonna, like, tear. Like, even just thinking about it, like, I'm starting to get sad. And that's why I think he's gonna be one of those characters where he's gonna die.
Yeah.
And it's gonna, like, rip your soul apart. You're just like, oh, no.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like,
and also,
like, Hodor's death was, like, shocking. You're like, oh my God.
Right.
Like, you're like, oh my God. Because it was like this, like, so much was happening. You're just like, this is like, and Hodor's death, like, it was more like mind boggling. Like we were almost excited because, like, I cannot believe they just went to this level. Like, this is such a total, like, this changes everything. The Red Wedding is more like upsetting, right? You're, like, angry. You're like, oh, I hate this show. They kill all my characters. There's really not a lot of deaths where we're like, like, oh my God, I cannot believe, like, oh, they just killed that guy.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, that's going to be the first one. Because, like if Tormund dies, like, early, as we kind of predicted, it's just like, it sucks. It's like, it's easy to see. But Davos's death, especially if it came like Ygritte's death, right? Like, Ygritte is, like, she's standing there, she's not going to shoot Jon Snow, and then she gets hit with an arrow, and you're like, oh. And it hurts. That's how I think Davos' death's gonna go. I think it's gonna be a very similar situation.
Yeah.
Like, it's out. It's like, not, you weren't expecting it.
Yeah, and it's just sort of like he gets caught in the crossfire or something. Because really, I mean, who's he close to now? And also, he wasn't in the first book, right? So you think of those characters who were introduced in Game of Thrones way back in the day, and it's like he shows up. Isn't he first in a Clash of Kings, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't in season 1, shows up in season 2. I don't know. I feel like, I thought maybe he would live through the Battle of Winterfell, but then would die at some point. But I can see what you're saying now, just a random arrow or in the chaos of the battle, he gets, I mean, he is a fighter, he is going to be out there, fighting in some respect. So, yeah, I think he makes it for a while, but then will ultimately die, But I also don't. He's 50-50. He is a 50-50 for me. I have no clue. So, but all right. Well, We are to
now we're to the big hitters.
yeah.
So,
Let's save Jon and Dany for last, I guess.
Yeah.
Go to Cersei. Let's get the Lannisters. Here.
So okay, I think we should do Tyrion, Jaime, then Cersei.
Okay.
Because I think Cersei, Jon, and Dany are like the final ones to do. Okay, so let's go to Tyrion.
Tricky.
I mean, well, either the character lives or the character dies, right? A lot of these other characters, small, right? You know what I mean? Like it's one of the other. But like all the other characters, it's kind of like, okay, well, like I can easily see a situation in which this character dies, right?
Yeah.
Tyrion is tougher than Jaime and Cersei because, like, I could see Tyrion sitting the Iron Throne. I see that scenario.
Yeah.
I see more scenarios in which Tyrion lives than situations in which Tyrion dies. I don't think Tyrion is going to die at the Battle of Winterfell.
Yep.
If Tyrion dies, it's going to be via Cersei.
Okay.
And that creates I do think Tyrion, Jaime, and Cersei all have a moment together. And I don't know how it goes down.
Yeah.
Whether it's Tyrion, if Tyrion kills Cersei, or Jaime kills Cersei, or Cersei kills Tyrion and then Jaime kills her.
Yep.
Yep. But I think that all of that happens in one scene, and I don't think all three of them die. I could see Jaime being the one that survives.
Yep.
But I do think all three of them will have a moment, and two of them die in that scene.
Yeah, and I like what you're saying. And I could see, as you say, Cersei strikes first. And actually, mortally wounds. Yeah, Tyrion, and then Jaime realizes what he has to do, and he ends up just killing Cersei and trying to save his brother. But
like Cersei's going to kill Tyrion, and Jaime like steps in front.
Yeah.
And
sure.
You know what I mean? One of those things. And so she
Wow, and those
Jaime,
two are left with each other.
trying to kill Tyrion. And then she's like, You took our mother from me. You took my father from me.
Yeah.
You took my children from me.
Oh, my
gosh.
God.
I think that's happening. I think it's happening like that now.
Oh, my gosh. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
And then who saves him? Pod, Bronn, anyone?
He kills her. I think Tyrion kills her.
Think Tyrion kills Cersei?
I think she tries to attack him.
She tries to attack him?
And he kills her, and he chokes her.
Oh, my goodness.
Remember, he fought off Shay, right? I mean, he killed Shay. He fighting her.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Well, I mean, they were in bed, and then he kind of had the thing. But
but he could take
be a similar thing, man.
Yeah, he could. I mean, he's wielded a battle axe.
Yeah,
he's
So yeah, I think that's what happens. Well,
oh my gosh.
Unless Cersei obviously, unless it goes a different route and Cersei just wins. Like Cersei sits the Iron Throne, or Cersei is the savior and like blows up King's Landing to kill the Night King.
No, what I was thinking too, the other option there is that if Cersei is trying to kill Tyrion, Jaime steps in front, is killed by his own sister, and then, as you say, she tries to kill Tyrion. I think she could actually kill him too. Maybe she does kill Tyrion.
Really? She kills both of them.
Maybe she kills both of them. And then we have the whole
then
Sansa.
She has, like, nothing left, and yeah.
And then the Sansa situation happens with where Sansa takes over Cersei or kills Cersei some way or what have you. Yeah, I mean, the only other person who I think could kill Tyrion, and it would be a total twist, would be if Sansa is really the true queen, and she's trying to clear a path. I mean, maybe just in a nice way, just sort of just having a good conversation with him, and just boom, dagger in the heart.
Wow.
What I'm saying? Could you imagine? I mean, that would be playing the Game of Thrones to the or Poisons. I don't know.
Yeah.
Be crazy.
All right, man. So I think that kind of ties up all three of those characters, unless you have something.
No, I think it does.
Yeah, I mean, the only I don't think all three die. I don't think Cersei's gonna win. I think that for me, it's like, I think I would give 50% Sansa wins, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'd give Cersei 25%, and then I'd start breaking it down from there. But I could still see the idea of Cersei killing, blowing up King's Land. So say something like that happens, she kills Tyrion and Jaime. She has nothing left, so she just blows up blows up King's Landing to save because she sees, you know, the Night King or something, or like maybe she sees maybe the Night King kills Jaime, right?
Okay,
you know?
yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so she realizes, oh my God, like we have to.
We forgot about him, didn't we? Yeah.
Or like we need to leave this world together, and then I could see that's a scenario where I could see Jaime killing her, is like same like Mad King thing, right? Like burn them all. And
sure.
So Jaime has to kill her too, and he's like crying while he's doing it.
Yeah.
That's my argument for Jaime being Azor Ahai too, because I think there's a very significant chance that that's how he does it, because that's killing a lion and someone you love at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if Jaime does, if something happens to him at Winterfell and Cersei learns of it, you know, perhaps through Tyrion or whatever, maybe she does try to lure the Night King there and just, you know, blows everything up. You know what I'm saying? Does another situation where she takes out the Red Keep with the Night King in there, Dragonfire or something, you know, or yeah, I mean, that'd be kind of crazy. So yeah, that's the Lannisters are tough to wrap up actually.
But I think they're all intertwined.
Yeah,
I definitely think they're intertwined. Yeah.
Yep. So here's the big one, and you've already kind of said with Jon and Dany. I mean, you're thinking that Dany doesn't make it. Maybe.
Nope.
Right?
I don't. I think Daenerys dies.
Yeah. And you know, I thought Daenerys would die as well, but I don't think she'll die at the Battle of Winterfell. I've kind of felt like maybe she would die later on. You know, in the second battle, because I could just see Jon living out this, you know, I don't know, like a miserable kind of life or situation where like he couldn't protect her. She saved him, you know, and she saw something in him. This whole time she's been told she's the blood of the dragon. She, you know, needs to rule and all these different things. Well, he is also blood of the dragon. You know what I mean? And so now she could possibly sacrifice herself for him in that second battle, maybe. I feel like they're going to hold on to Dany and Jon as long as they can. That's my only thing, is I think they're going to hold on to them as long as they can. So it would be a shocker if one of them died in episode 3. I mean, that would literally rock the world, you know? And it might happen, but I feel like it's going to be the episode 5 situation where one of them is going to go. And we're just left in this, you know, episode 6, like, how do we finish this? This is just, you know, crazy. So for me, Dany dies in episode 5 in some second battle scene, you know, and Jon has to live on kind of in misery, you know. Yeah. So I don't know. It's crazy. I like the idea of him maybe, you know, getting with Sansa. I also like the idea that he just goes off on his own and isn't king of anything. He's just a hero, you know, who heads off into the horizon, and that's it for him. You know what I mean? Like, he's done his job. He's, you know, he's been used in every way possible. He's had his ups and his downs and lost the person he loved, you know, 2 people that he loved, you know, Ygritte and Dany. And it's just like, you know, I don't know, heartbreak. So what's a situation in which you would see Jon, you know, dying?
Die?
Yeah.
I don't, man. I just don't like, because I don't like, it would be bad at this point.
Because he's already died once and he comes back, yeah.
Because he's been killed once. They teased his death.
Mm-hmm.
Battle of Bastards. At the Battle of the Bastards. And so, like, what would be the point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get you. Yeah, I think that's sort of why we both lean, you know, Daenerys. She has overcome a lot of other obstacles as well, but I mean, she's always been in a pretty good position. I know it's like she had to, you know, was walking through the desert at one point.
Right.
Gets to Karth and the dragons grow up and stuff. But, I mean, she's been slowly just gaining power, more momentum. You know what I mean?
Right.
Throughout the whole course of this. So to see all of that momentum that's been gathering, come to an end is huge.
I mean, between the two, Jon and Daenerys, I just see more scenarios where, like, I mean, from a storytelling purpose, not like, well, you know, Jon should win because he's Jon Snow. I just see, I mean, unless they both live.
Well, I was gonna say, what if they both live?
I mean, that's definitely a
possibility.
way to go.
Yeah,
possibility. But to me, between the two, as we're kind of just picking here, I just see more scenarios for Jon living than I do Daenerys, because Daenerys hasn't really faced death. I mean, yeah, she did the funeral pyre thing, but it's like, you know, I mean, we at that point we had already seen her like sit in a really hot tub, like she touched the thing, her hands didn't get burnt.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, clearly there's something magical about her. And also you can't kill her off, because then what's the heck's the point of showing any of this stuff over here in Essos? Yeah, you know, and I think, like you said, she seemed almost like invincible, really.
Yeah.
And
What
so
yeah.
And so we've already, and I think for her too, her story has been, you know, like she's kind of given up things along the way, right? Like she's always been giving a little bit of herself. Like she basically is like, you know, she loses her brother.
Yeah.
In a situation, she loses Khal Drogo, you know, along the way. She has to chain up her dragons, and then, you know, it's always like she loses something but then gains a lot. She loses something and then gains a lot. And so, you know, now she's lost her dragon, but she's just gained the North, because she was, you know, trying to get Jon Snow to bend the knee, and so now he like has, right? So okay, yeah. I'm with you. So
I mean,
I also think like it's the idea of Dany has spent her entire time trying to get to Westeros, to conquer it, and instead she's a savior, not a conqueror.
Yeah. And another, to go along with the theme you're mentioning there, is like, you know, getting something and then losing something. Perhaps, I mean, she just gets Jon. Does she lose Jon? You can make the case because maybe he does sacrifice himself for her.
Yeah,
I mean,
I could see that. I could see that she loses. She finally finds, like, and that's it. The whole pregnant thing, because we don't know that she's pregnant, right?
No,
we don't.
No,
we don't know.
And we wouldn't know by episode 3. I don't think.
Right, I could see that route. I could see the route of like, we find out Jon's a Targaryen, and it's like, oh my god, like, he's just, you know, he's just like me. And then Jon dies, but then she has the baby,
his child.
And so it's you know what I mean. And so okay, there's that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. That could be,
because that's a spin earlier too. Because, like, remember, she also chose to give up Rhaego, her baby, to save Drogo.
Yeah, air quote chose.
Right, air quote. She kind of just said, like, do whatever you have to do.
Yep.
And then she kind of gets up and she's like, well, like, what happened? Yeah.
Right.
And so now maybe she has to give up Jon for, like, her baby, aka kind of like the future.
Yeah.
Of Westeros. So that's like the only scenario in which I see, but I do not think both of them make it.
Really, you don't?
No.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Is there?
Chance.
What about both of them not making it? Does one of them have to make it?
Both of them not making it?
Yeah.
I think the only way you do that is if, like, Cersei kind of wins, but, like, the realm's saved, and so it's kind of like, okay, like, that's, you know what I mean?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's what makes this all so exciting, because there's just
I
so
know.
many.
There's so many possibilities.
But I'm a big believer of Sansa sitting the Iron Throne. I think it's going to be Sansa and Jon. So that's just kind of my prediction, man, of where we're at right now. I mean, the books, don't get me wrong, I think you and I both agree the books are going to go in a, like, I think it's like totally different.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we can, right now it is such a crazy thing.
This is just based upon the show, and, like, we got to sit down and make our final decisions. So this is, I would say, this is more gut feelings right now than it is, like, analytics. I've rewatched. I'm closing in on the end of my rewatch.
Right.
You know, and my research has been things like, okay, well, what are, you know, like I said, we talked about at the very, very beginning, like, all right, this guy wrote these episodes, so I kind of think it's going to go like this. We need this character to go off, and as we get going, we start crossing out characters, and okay, these guys are tied together, so let's cross that out. And then, it's almost like I've got my maps around my room with my strings.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, okay, going over here, going over here. And so I think that's just where the final string goes. Sansa's the character. Sansa is the character I think I just see the most with the most percent of survival. And so I don't think you can have Sansa and Daenerys live, because then that's another conflict. Sure. And I do think the show is going to end with zero conflict left.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, what was the point?
Sure. Okay.
And so I think Sansa is the one who is going to be like the end character. And so I think she's going to marry kind of somebody. I think she's going to marry somebody, whether it's, I think her options are Tyrion, like renew that marriage. Jaime. I don't know why. For some reason, I just see Jaime. I just see it in my mind. But I think more than likely she marries Jon Snow, and then that will give all of the HBO fans, you still have kind of like a Stark.
Yeah.
The Stark line kind of continues.
Gotcha. Yeah. Man, that is wild. I love it. That's cool stuff. Well, all right, guys. I mean, yeah, we had to just get that, discussion out, man.
So what about you, Sir Ezra? I mean, what's your...
The end game? I mean, I love the Sansa thing. That's great. I think the only other thing... let's see. Characters I think.
What's Sir Ezra's endgame, man? Lay it out for us.
Like who wins? Oh my god.
Yeah, how's it going? I mean, for me, what's your it doesn't have to be like, okay, this is like 100% definitive. I've put it all together.
Yeah.
It just in kind of your head, gut feeling, like your biggest percent chance. Like we've said, okay, I could see this angle, angle, but to me, the angle that makes just the most sense is Sansa. And so then I have variables, right? So who do you think? Who do you think, if we have to, like, I mean, there may be no winner. Maybe that's why everybody said the ending's crazy.
Yeah. It's
maybe
crazy.
maybe that will piss everyone off, because everyone wanted someone to win the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just they just kill the Night King, and then the Game of Thrones didn't matter. But who is your like most likely candidate to kind of win?
Gosh. I mean, really, like I guess I have to say, I really think Tyrion is going to survive it all. I kind of think in some way he's been hinted at as someone who stood as tall as a king. You know what I mean?
Right.
His shadow, anyways. When they would see it in the books and things, like he's often kind of it. Those types of things are hinted at, and he's helping Daenerys and. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
hey,
Tyrion
is hey, man, I'm with you. Tyrion, at the end of the day, Tyrion is also one of the three. Like, right? Like,
right.
You can make the whole he's a Targaryen argument too, but there's not enough time to do that in the books or in the show. Excuse me. But Tyrion, Gur's like his three favorite characters: Jon, Dany, Tyrion.
Yeah.
So he's in like the innermost circle. Tyrion Lannister also, I watched this video on YouTube the other day where they showed screen time like per season, and it's like Tyrion dominates it all the way until like the last episode of season 7, and Jon just edges him out but Jon and Tyrion have more screen time than anyone else.
Wow. Yeah,
Tyrion dominates it. I mean, season 1's like totally Ned Stark, but then from season 2 on, it's Tyrion. It dominates it the entire way until where we're at now, and Jon Snow just edges him out.
Yeah, because I also feel like Jon Snow is not someone who wants to sit on the Iron Throne. I mean, he maybe he does. I know Dany kind of does want to sit there, and like even if Jon does win and Dany dies and Tyrion's still there, I feel like Jon would just be like, somebody else take it. You know what I mean? I don't know that he would want it. So I don't know. I would like to see Tyrion sit it with Sansa, I guess, but or if anything, I would like to see Tyrion just be Lord of Casterly Rock, if that's
right.
But even though he's kind of
See, a lot of character story arcs, when you got to think about like, okay, where is their story going? Tyrion's story arc, to me, the only place it really can lead is to Cersei.
Yeah,
because like, where else is it? Because like once you get past his dad, then he's kind of just like floating around Essos. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
he's just
he
looking
links
for,
up with Daenerys.
Even in the books, he's in the books. He's like, where are the whores go? That's kind of where Tyrion's at. You know?
You're right.
He kind of links up with Daenerys, and he's just kind of there, and he's another piece to the puzzle. But like every story has to have like, some resolution. Yeah.
I mean, of all those main characters though that we're looking at here, I just don't see, like the main contenders are Tyrion, Cersei, Dany, Jon, and Sansa. I don't see.
Yeah, I would say those
anybody else with a chance.
I mean, with the exception of like the Night King just wins.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, sure. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that could be.
Yeah. Do you think there's that? What % chance would you give that
the Night King winning everything?
The Night King just wins.
No way.
And it's just like, a big,
no way.
Like,
there's no way. There's no way.
I will say the only argument I can see for the Night King winning is because then you have to have like a moral to the story, right? And so the only thing I could see is that you spent all this time playing the Game of Thrones, not seeing the end game, like all these characters. Like we always told you winter was coming. We kept telling you this is the bigger deal, and maybe it's kind of like some argument for like, I don't know, you could argue like the afterlife, or something. I mean something, or like you should be planning. You should be planning. Like don't get caught up in like day-to-day stuff when there's bigger, better things out there.
Right.
Like that's the only, because you have to explain it, right? Because you have to give us a reason for the Night King winning, and then like, it being significant. Yeah, and that's the only kind of argument I could see going with for him winning.
Yeah. The only other thing, so like we talk about what we think might happen, and then what I want to have happen, what I think would be cool. I've always wanted to see, we've kind of said, well, it's kind of against Arya's character to maybe fall in love with a boy, but as you get older, I mean, if she grows out of that and sees who Gendry really is, and then you go back to Rob, Ned and Robert Baratheon down in the crypts talking about, you have a son, I have a daughter, and to see those two come back, son and daughter from those two good friends come together, get married. Maybe she does fall in love with him at some point, and
right.
Either she sits, either they rule in Winterfell in the ruins there, or maybe there's a situation where she, she's thrust in a position where she has to take the throne or something. I don't know. I would like to see those two characters get together though. That's a guilty, pleasure situation. But yeah, I don't. The odds of that happening are slim. It's either Tyrion sits it, Jon, Dany, or Sansa, maybe Cersei. And I know you got the whole Jaime Sansa situation there, but I just don't.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's just I don't know. Sometimes you just have a feeling about something.
Yeah.
Like there's been nothing to ever cause it to like say it, but I don't know. I think it'd be cool. Like I don't know. I think because it'd be like almost like funny, right? Like if it happened, like it's like, oh hey Cersei. Yeah, like Sansa's like, no, I took the thing that you always kind of
right. I know this is kind of like, yeah. This is a little bit far fetched here, but like, what if it were something like? I mean, I'm looking at some of these supporting cast characters too, to looking at people at the end here who could hook up, like Lyanna Mormont maybe hooking up with Robert Aaron. You know what I mean? And like there being an alliance maybe
like
between
that
those.
Could happen.
Like that would be kind of cool little connections at the end, or Robert, Rob and Aaron being with Sansa, at the end. I don't know. I just don't know what it says he's a supporting cast, so not really sure that he's going to be a big deal in this. But
yeah, I've definitely seen arguments and like people post stuff online that like Gendry and Arya win, like they sit the Iron Throne, and then the whole it's like it's kind of like what it should have been all the way back to like Robert's rebellion, right? It was like Robert was supposed to marry Lyanna Stark, and
Lyanna Stark,
would have ever happened,
yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. That's something I'd love to see. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's tough. I actually really, really like your Sansa idea. And if not Sansa, then either Tyrion or Arya. Those are the ones I want to sit the throne. I don't really care about Jon and Dany sitting the throne. I mean, I just don't see that Jon is a character who wants to sit it. And I feel like they're more of that last hero Azor Ahai prophecy situation. And then behind them is a Game of Thrones continuing on afterwards. So, yeah, that's my thought.
So, all right, man. That's
Yeah,
it. That's our mega end.
There it is.
You know, that's it. It's over. The
yeah.
speculation is over. Now we're just waiting for that first episode, and then we're gonna speculate like nobody's business because we'll have a little more information.
That's right.
We'll have like a next time on Game of Thrones. We'll be like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's it. Time to kind of sign off here.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, we want to thank you for playing the Game of Thrones. I think our next episode, as of when this comes out, will be season 8, episode 1 breakdown.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy to think about.
And then we'll be like, all of that stuff we just said is so wrong,
so garbage. Yeah, Sansa died in the first episode. Oh gosh. No way. So all right, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. In the words of the Mad King, burn them all.